Oh boy, this is the last thing we're going to talk about today. We're back on some bullshit because President Trump is yapping again, folks. He's fucking yapping about how the Republicans need to seize elections across the country. Great. Great.
President Trump.
Oh, but he's joking. He's just telling a joke. Where's the punchline? What the fuck is the punchline here? A joke has a setup and a punchline. It's very clearly defined, okay? Where's the setup? Where's the punchline? Secondly, he's been talking about this, man. He doesn't want there to be elections this year because the Republican Party is going to get their fucking asshole stretched, and Donald Trump is fearful of that. So here he is on Good Morning America. I don't remember if this is. I don't think this might have been when he shit his pants. I don't quite recall. But at any rate, let's hear what he has to say.
Doubling down on his calls for the federal government to, quote, get involved and nationalize elections, making it clear he wants a federal takeover.
If a state can't run an election, I think the people behind me should do something about it. Because, if you think about it, a state is an agent for the federal government in elections. I don't know why the federal government doesn't do them anyway.
The Constitution gives states the power to run elections, not the federal government. Trump's remarks drawing backlash even from Republicans.
So many presidents.
The reason that states do elections is because it's more impartial and also more efficient. Like, dude, come on. Read the fucking room, guys. Put your thinking caps on. He's mad that not every vote gets tallied for him. He wants to be a dictator. He wants to be a totalitarian. He doesn't want there to be any more elections anymore because guess what, guys? To Republicans, elections are woke and gay, and they don't like that.
Presidents have wanted to do that, and it still sounds like a bad idea to me. And anytime a political party in power wants to federalize elections, they should be prepared to have them federalized against them.
Senate Republican leader John Thune telling reporters he's not in favor of federalizing elections, saying it's harder to hack 50 election systems than it is to hack one. Democrats outraged.
What we're seeing is Donald Trump saying the quiet part out loud, that he wants totalitarian control over our elections, and he refuses trust in the American people voting as they think is fair and right.
With the midterms approaching and Republicans rattled by recent losses, the president and Republican leaders are increasingly sowing distrust in the nation's elections. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson claiming yesterday without proof that there's been election fraud in California.
It looks on its face to be fraudulent. Can I prove that? No.
The president
Okay, dude, what are we? It's so crazy how they're just allowed to say this. It's insane how they can just be like, elections are fraudulent, we don't like them, and nothing happens. I don't understand how this country is so fucked up. How Mike Johnson can just be like, there's fraud in California, and no, I can't prove it, but I'm going to say it anyway. There was a report in Utah, I believe it was. Let's see if I can find it. Some think tank or some research group in Utah conducted a study where they looked for voter fraud, and they found one case. Oh, here we go. A Republican-led Utah audit of over 2 million voter registrations found only one non-citizen who never voted. The results undercut the right-wing narrative of widespread non-citizen voting, especially as Republicans renew their push for a proof of citizenship requirement in voter registration. That is the SAVE Act, which is making its way through Congress. So, no, election fraud is not a thing. It's not real. And to the extent it does exist, it is more so done by people like Mike Johnson and other Republicans who are attempting to sow doubt about the legitimacy of our elections. That is more fraudulent. That is more fraudulent than the claim that millions of undocumented migrants are being bussed in for the explicit purpose of voting Democrat. What's also funny about that schizophrenic hallucination is that all of those, well, not all of them, obviously, but those undocumented migrants made it, or they arrive in New York or Chicago because Greg Abbott or Ron DeSantis fucking busses them there, not because they just appear. So, like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Insists without evidence that voting is rife with fraud and is pushing to tighten voting laws. He's taken executive action to impose major election changes, though a federal judge last week blocked provisions that require proof of citizenship to register to vote. And the Justice Department is now demanding at least 24 states, mostly Democratic run, turn over voter data. And Trump remains fixated on his 2020 defeat, especially in Georgia. Joe Biden won the state in 2020, a fact confirmed by a full statewide audit and a hand recount. Even if he had won Georgia, Trump still would have lost the election. It wasn't close. Biden won the popular vote by more than 7 million and took the Electoral College 306 to 232. Still, Trump
really
directing the
smoked that fool. Holy shit. Joe Biden fucked on Donald Trump. Oh my God. Donald Trump is hurt, not just because he lost, but because he got bent over and smacked by Joe Biden so hard that his ass cheeks turned red. It's still just insane for me to comprehend that the Department of Justice is like, yeah, so we need all of your voter records just because we need to make sure that you're doing things the right way. Which is funny because this administration has not been truthful ever. They lie about fucking everything. So why would they expect me to believe that voter data and voter, voter information is safer in their hands than in the state leaders' hands? Because they could get this data and then just come out and say some bullshit, and all the right-wing media outlets would be like, oh my God, the Trump administration that has never lied is telling the truth about voters in Minnesota.
Justice Department to investigate his false claim that he won Georgia in that race.
One way or the other, the records are coming with us today.
New body camera footage obtained by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution showing the moments FBI agents raided the election office in Fulton County, Georgia last week, seizing 700 boxes of ballots and voting records from the 2020 election. The Fulton County commissioner telling ABC Trump simply cannot accept the fact that he lost Georgia.
If they believe that Fulton County is a hotbed of fraud, why are they only looking at the 2020 election? Why not look at the 2024 election where he won? Why not look at the 2016 election where he won, right? Because he likes the outcome.
Now, as the president
Real.
undermines public...
Spit that shit, my guy. He's right. It's literally, it's all politically motivated. It's all political theater. It just fucking sickens me to no end that this shit is allowed to persist.
Trust in the U.S. elections. Democrats are warning that just as he tried to overturn the results in 2020, they say Trump is now laying the groundwork to do the same thing again. Michael.
All right, Mary, thank you for bringing that to us.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, the shit he's doing is fucking it's insane. He doesn't want there to be elections in 2026 or in 2028. And if there are, he wants them to be rigged. He wants them to be as rigged as possible. He wants Donald Trump, in his ideal world, is able to run for president again in 2028 against Gavin Newsom, where Gavin Newsom only gets one vote and Donald Trump gets all the others. And the one vote that Gavin Newsom receives is Don Jr.'s wife, a.k.a. Gavin Newsom's ex-girlfriend. Oh, my God. Man. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else I have to say on that situation other than just Donald Trump is trying to, he's trying his best to lay the foundation to make sure that there are no elections. And I really hope that when push comes to shove, that the Democratic leaders of all these states put their fucking foot down or put their feet down and stand up to Donald Trump, because like this is just getting This is just getting fucking ridiculous. Like, if Donald Trump really tries to fucking get your voting machines, your voter rolls, just say some shit about the Epstein files. Like, why aren't you looking for the Epstein files this hard, buddy? Come on.